There are 9 pieces of information that I'm looking for as my dialer is calling the numbers in the dialer. I am scouring the MLS or sometimes Zillow to get this information, and I want you to do the same. Doing so will put you in a position of power when you ultimately connect with the seller and have that first conversation. The very first thing I look for when I'm calling on an expired listing is who held the listing before it expired. Was it a big name brokerage in my market? Or was it a flat fee listing service? Or was it maybe with an independent broker who has their own LLC and possibly doesn't do a lot of transactions each year? With the first one, they might be thinking, well, the bigger the brokerage, the better service I'm going to get. With the second one, they might be thinking, well, there's no way I'm paying commission. And if I'm dealing with somebody who's coming from a flat fee service, I'm going to be sure to sharpen my commission objection handlers. And with the last scenario, they might feel obligated to do business with a friend or a family member, or maybe they feel more comfortable doing so. So just by looking at this one little piece of information, I'm gaining insight as to where the seller stands with who they feel comfortable representing them. Number two, I'm trying to determine what the equity is in the home. Now, of course, I don't have the seller's loan information, but I'm looking at the legacy price, what they paid for the home when they bought it, and I'm subtracting that number from the estimated market value. By letting me know how much equity they have, that might be an indicator as to how motivated they are to sell or not. And equity kind of goes hand in hand with the first thing that we talked about. If a seller is going with a flat fee brokerage, they don't have a lot of equity. That could be the reason why they're going with a flat fee broker. Number three, I look in the history in the MLS to see what type of property this is to the seller. I don't know for certain, but again, I'm just trying to gather information. If they've been renting it out, then I know it's an investment property for them versus if they've been just, trying to sell it, it's probably their primary residence. Property type is going to correlate to what their objective is to the property. So if they're an investor, that's completely different than selling for their own personal reasons. Number four just kind of hits me as soon as I look at the listing. I'm looking at the marketing, the photos. Were they good photos? Do they really showcase all that the property has to offer? Or were they not so good photos and they really made it look kind of bad? Because if they're not so great photos, I know for a fact that my team can improve upon those photos because we only use professional photographers. We do not cheap out on photography. We know the importance of photography when trying to sell a home. So I know that we have that advantage as I proceed to a conversation with the seller. Number five, I love this metric, days on market. How long was the home on the market before it expired or was withdrawn or canceled? This gives me some insight as to the motivation of the seller. Did they really try to sell it? Was it on the market for 6 months? Well, then I know that they really want to sell this home. Or was it maybe on the market for just a couple of weeks? Maybe their plans have changed, or maybe they've just decided, you know what, we're not selling, we're staying put. Days on market is a very important metric that I look at. Number six is another favorite of mine. I look for price reductions. Number six goes hand in hand with number five. Were they on the market a long time and did not reduce the price $1, or did they gradually reduce the price showing that they really want to sell the home? Price reductions to me shows motivation on the part of the seller. If they priced out too high in the beginning and now they're chasing the market, at least I know they want to sell. But if they stayed at the same price and were on the market for 6 months and did not budge, that lets me know I don't think they're that motivated to sell the property because they're not trying to meet the market where it's at. Number seven is geography. Where is the property located? Is it close by to me? Is it going to be easy for me to service it and get out there as needed? Or is it located far away and I'm going to have to fight through traffic to get to showings, open houses, meet with contractors, etc.? The client is always number one and I'm number two. So although I might really want the listing, I have to understand that it has to make sense as to whether or not I would interview for it and actually get the listing. It has to be within a decent proximity to where I'm located. Number eight, I like to dig into the agent remarks or the documents area in the MLS to kind of see if there's special information about the listing that I need to be aware of. For example, is there any unpermitted space? Or is the property in litigation? things of that nature that are not going to stand out in the property description, but are relevant as to maybe what's preventing the home from selling on the market. Number 9, I've saved the most awkward for last. Functional obsolescence. That is a term that I learned in pre-licensing, and I'm sure you did too. What that means is there's something kind of unusual or outdated about the home that's going to need to be fixed in order to make the home livable, or maybe not livable, but desirable for the majority of buyers out there. An example would be maybe the previous owners put the kitchen upstairs when most people enjoy having the kitchen on the main floor. That means that they're going to have to go in there and architect a whole new floor plan to get that kitchen downstairs. So something like that might be preventing the home from getting sold. I want you to make every minute in the dialer count. And this means that you have to become an investigator as you're dialing the numbers and looking at listings. This information is applicable for expired listings, but also for sale by owners to a certain extent. Knowledge is power. You're trying to collect data on these phone calls because the more information you know about the seller, the more you'll be able to insert yourself into their situation and show your value. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope to see you on the next video.